On the internet, there's always food that's trending. Some are delicious, and others make you question humanity, or are straight up incomprehensible for the non-American mind. So, how about today? We take a look at these trending foods and determine if they are worth the hype and crazy prices. Anyways, let's start with something not too crazy, which is this green chocolate from Dubai. It's a chocolate bar filled with pistachio cream and a flaky pastry on the inside. Looks yummy, but not $30 yummy. This might be the only item where I can kind of see where it wouldn't be cheap, and it's probably from the pistachio cream. I found this one website that sells it, and the description is like milk chocolate is from Belgium, pistachio cream from Italy, and flaky pastry from Greece. So considering the main ingredients of this chocolate aren't even at least made in Dubai, is it really a Dubai chocolate? Now, a common theme with some viral foods is that their name contains this famous city like New York, LA, or London, and you probably know the rest. Dubai is like the tutorial level of the Middle East for the average noob traveling, and it's like where a lot of rich people go. So of course they're going to be selling a $30 chocolate. It has a name associated with wealth and having money to burn. Eating expensive chocolate from expensive place is like a status symbol. It's sort of like designer brands, except it goes away because you eat it and like soy face at it for the camera for Soystagram. But overall, while the Dubai chocolate is a little overpriced, it isn't the worst we're encountering today. Next up, we got crumble cookies. So for those outside of the US, Crumble is basically a chain of cookies stores that sells cookies that look like they will make you go into a coma. Now, what makes Crumble so popular right now is that the cookie flavors rotate weekly. Wow. And everyone just wants to try every flavor, especially when they make a collaboration. Now, honestly, I don't really get the hype in trying every flavor. They all look like they would probably just use the same base dough and frosting with different food coloring and toppings, because of course they're going to try to cut costs. So I guess a bunch of cookies are basically the same or taste very similar. I also need to jump back onto how all the cookies look like they will give me a coma, which is the reason why I refuse to get a crumble cookie. While the thickness and sides looks a little inconsistent, I can be sure regardless I will be getting a rather thick cookie, and this is where my problem comes in. So I bake cookies sometimes, and I know for sure with cookies that you need to make sure the dough thickness is correct for the sake of making sure the texture is not like gross. It's most cookie dough spreads as it bakes. So if it's too thick like in Crumble's case, then it ends up being like really soft or often like undercooked in the middle, which has been confirmed by tons of videos. I'm just really surprised people buy like a $25 six-pack of these on a weekly basis. So that totals up to like $100 a month for cookies. But overall, Crumble just doesn't look like it's worth it for me. I would rather go to my local bakery and get a properly cooked cookie for like half the price of a Crumble cookie. But next up, we won't be looking at a specific food, but rather an entire grocery store. Iran is a grocery store chain in Los Angeles that sells really expensive stuff and is like supposed to be for rich people to buy their groceries. But the weird thing is that like I've actually seen more middle income people going there to buy whatever stuff there than I've actually heard of like a rich person like genuinely going there to buy their groceries. The most obvious reason people go there is so they can buy one thing that makes their wallet cry, and they post it online, and that one thing is usually stuff from the food court, specifically the smoothies. The smoothies' bright, stimulating colors and association with a celebrity attracts the peasants of LA. So of course they're gonna go splurge on it for the gram. At this point, I'm not even sure if Iran is like a rich people only grocery store or just like some equivalent to designer brand store. You just buy it as a status symbol when you're actually like kind of broke. But as usual, Los Angeles isn't making much sense here. There's a reason why you're protected from LA, from it with like these like long stretches of like nothing around it. But now it's time for our last man-made goy slop beyond American comprehension, which is sugar slop coffee. And most major coffee chains, you can customize your coffee with so many things. You can add cream, make it iced, or add some flavoring. However, sometimes if these change, the coffee part of the drink is overpowered by sugar or cream, which makes you question if the caffeine still does its thing, or let alone the coffee has any purpose being there. But with the ability to customize how much cream or sugar is added to your drink, some people can choose to take it to the next level by ordering or creating instant diabetes concoctions that not even the average American can comprehend. In the past few months, there's been kind of like a trend with making these weird coffee slop concoctions. You may have heard this most most with some viral TikToks of these mysterious people ordering like entire cups worth of plain sugar and caramel syrup at Dunkin' Donuts, only for the final drink to have like a tiny little splash of coffee. It's the same for Starbucks, except there's like a million different syrups and not so much sugar dumping machines to emphasize the sugar slopness. Some people theorize that the reason for this is that some people order like a drink with a ton of like that stuff to use it to dilute it in other drinks, so it kind of lasts several days. But this theory doesn't make too much sense, since you'll still not be getting like the best, really good tasting flavor, and it's just cheaper to buy a bottle of syrup or coffee concentrate. Although these weird cases of these orders being made are relatively rare, you more often see people make their own coffee in these comically large glasses that are filled to the brim with so much milk, ice, and like half a bottle of syrup, only to contain barely any coffee for whatever reason. And even when they use like a somewhat appropriate ratio of coffee, I'm still left wondering, how the krill do they drink this? Is this thing consumed throughout the entire day, despite the fact like this thing definitely contains well over the recommended amount of sugar and caffeine? It's just like shared with someone, they like consume this over the course of several days, or you're just like a really retarded attention seeker. I don't know, but what I do know is that the sugar slopification of coffee has kind of ruined the way some coffee recipes are like posted. And I'll admit, I used to be really into the sugar slop grind set, but when I found out how awesome a latte that isn't diluted in milk and sugar is from like smaller coffee shops, I needed to figure out how to make it at home, of course. The only problem is, there's so many coffee recipes in English that have so much sugar it dilutes the coffee taste, to the point where I have to start putting the search bar like just like the word coffee, but I run it for Google Translate, so it's something like in like Chinese or Thai, just so I can find a good coffee recipe that isn't sugar slopified. But anyways, that's all the American Goy slop I have to share for today. Comment down below if you would eat these or fall into a coma at the sight of these foods. That's all for today, guys. Bye.